Hey y'all. Okay. I am coming with a topic today that I saw a quote on, and it just resonated with me because I could just totally relate, and I've been in this situation multiple times, and I'm like, then I see the quote and I was like, see, you know? And so the quote says, and I'm gonna read it verbatim. Excuse me. Excuse me. It says, if you avoid the conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. Let me tell y'all what this spoke to me. This spoke to me just many situations I've put myself into trying to keep the peace. Like something bothered me that somebody either did or said to me. Whether they like intended for it to be that way or not. But what I didn't do was ask for clarity. Okay, I need to ask for clarity so I can make sure, is this what you were trying to say? This is how, because this is how it came across. But there's just been situations, and I don't know if you've been in one where like, you're maybe with your partner, y'all having a good time. I mean, the day is going great. But they said something that, just pierced your soul. It disturbed you, okay? And kind of made you feel some kind of way. But all day has been good, and, and I don't know, maybe both of y'all had today off, so you're trying to enjoy it. You don't maybe have the same day off every a lot, so you're just trying to enjoy it. But anyways, you choose not to say nothing. You just try to brush it off. But when you brush it off, you still feel it. So now when y'all sitting in the car and y'all joking and laughing, going on down the road, and they say something funny, you're now smiling with a fake laugh, or it's just taking everything in you to keep the same energy that you had before they said what they said or made you feel some kind of way, And so then maybe they don't notice right then, but then you get on down, y'all get, time goes by, and it's still just kind of like, it's starting to, you think you're doing a good job suppressing it, but it's starting to ooze out. And it could go one or two ways, like it's done with me, where either that person noticed it, then they ask, what's wrong? And I choose not to say nothing. I choose to say like, no, everything's fine. I just was thinking about something else, okay? You had the perfect opportunity. I've been in a situation. I had the perfect opportunity to say something, okay? It didn't have to come off like, rawr. I could have just said something. I could have just answered the question. And you just keep on going because you're trying to not, you feel like in your head, or how I felt was like, oh my God, we're going to end up arguing or something. I really just don't even want to. It's okay. It's not that serious. But obviously it's serious enough because it's eating you alive. Okay? Like the longer and longer hours and hours that go by, you get into the night and you're still suppressing something. Well, if that person knows you, like especially if it's your partner, they know you. Okay? So they're sensing something. And like I said, that one way they could either sense it or they could not sense it. Or they could sense it, and then instead of them asking you again what's wrong, they start to veer off with their mood. And their attitude changes, and they're like, I don't know what's going on, but it's just kind of like, I've already asked and you said nothing, but I'm not liking the energy I'm getting from you. That's probably what's in their head. And so their energy shifts. Well, now it's awkward. So the very thing that you were trying to avoid it being in the first place, the energy, the tension, you were trying to avoid any conflict, you were trying to enjoy the day, well, because you held it in and didn't even say anything, and you went with the first route that if I say something, it's going to go boom downhill, and I am not saying that it may not go boom downhill, okay? Because if you know your partner enough and you know situations like this, you done tried it before, maybe opened up, and it didn't work. It went bad. So you're like, I'm only gonna say something if it truly bothers me. Meanwhile, this does bother you. So I will say something that you were trying to avoid that whole thing, and you were trying to avoid conflict. And at the end of the day, by the end of the night, from suppressing all your emotions, you ended up creating that same conflict. And it's even worse this time because now they can say, well, I asked you and you didn't say anything. So that's what that message spoke to me. And that's vital. You got to be able to speak up, and it can go one or two ways. It could go boom, like it could break out into a whole conflict, but we have to become confident and come, with ourselves and just say, hey, like sometimes it may upset somebody. They may either get defensive and say, that's not what I meant, or I or whatever. I mean, they may be being honest, it's not what they meant and that's what it came across, or for sure that's how it came across. That's how they are when they're, away, like being a certain way at any other time. So, but they may be just in a denial and not wanting to speak on it, so just know that it may go good and it may go bad. And it's better to be like, at least I said something. They know exactly how I feel versus they still don't know how I feel and I'm letting this create a war inside of me, trying to suppress emotions, okay, that are just oozing out. Thank y'all.